I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. Oh, for heaven's sake. Worse than I thought it would be. I told you this would all end in tears.
All my life, I've had this strange feeling that there's something big and sinister going on in the world.
You think you've got problems? I've seen it. It's rubbish. It won't work. I have an exceptionally large mind. But you won't like it.
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. We'd have way better CGI if it was fake. And, you know, the colors all look like kind of weird in space. There's no atmospheric occlusion. You know, like everything looks too crisp. But we didn't really test any of those materials for, is it space hardened or whatever, So it just has the same seats that like a normal car has. It's just literally a normal car in space, which I kind of like the absurdity of. And if you look closely, on the dashboard, there's a tiny roadster with a tiny spaceman.
I don't know what we'd do without him.
What are you going to do, Jonesy?
Don't panic. Don't panic.
No, we're not panicking. We're not panicking.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic, anyone. Don't panic. Don't panic, Mr. Mandarin. Don't panic. 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 Don't panic, sir. Don't you panic, sir. Don't panic. 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 I'm not panicking. Don't panic. 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 Don't panic.
Ladies and gentlemen, please calm down. Please listen to me. I want to tell you what's going on with the ship. Thank you. We've been thrown off course just a tad.
Exactly, what's a tad?
What exactly is a tad? In space terms, that's about 500,000 miles.
Oh, that's interesting.
The bumps you feel are asteroids smashing into the hull of this ship. Also, we're flying without a navigational system and can't seem to change course.
Miss, are you telling us absolutely everything?
Not exactly. We're also out of coffee.
live in a world of relentless change. Huge migrations of people to new megacities, filling soaring skyscrapers and vast slums. Ravenous appetites for fuel and food, unpredictable climate change. And all this in a world where the population is still growing. Should we be worried? Should we be scared? How to make sense of it all? Where all this leaves us, I have just one little humble advice to you. Beside everything else, look at the data. Look at the facts about the world, and you will see where we are today and how we can move forwards with all these billions on our wonderful planet. The challenge of extreme poverty have been greatly reduced, and it's for the first time in history within our power to end it for good. The challenge of population growth is in fact already being solved. The number of children have stopped growing. And for the challenge of climate change, we can still avoid the worst. But that requires that the richest, as soon as possible, find a way to set their use of resources and energy at a level that step by step can be shared by 10 billions or 11 billions by the end of this century. I also say the world is much better than many of you think. Thank you very much.
This Baltimore four-piece is quick to say, don't panic.
So here we go again.
We only have so long, so let's have one last hurrah or something like that.
Yeah.
That's another way to look at it, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. It's make the most of it while you can. The title "Don't Panic" is obviously a big slogan in Hitchhiker's Guide, but in that regard, it was really just about admitting the fact that like a lot of things are out of your control and you just kind of have to roll with it, which is I think is the overall sentiment of the book.
say, hey, I want you to hear a child performer, a young kid singer, you kind of automatically sometimes pull back because, you know, you've worked with child entertainers before, and good many of them when they're young are a little precocious and sometimes spoiled. Their mother is hanging around. And but this little girl I met about a month ago when the ladies here in Hollywood put on a great benefit for exceptional children called Share at Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. And, you know, Joanna's in it, a lot of the gals here in town. And I'd heard this album first, and I played it at home. And when I first heard it, I said, how old is that girl? And somebody said, well, she's just turned 10. So she walked down the stage at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, and she was off stage when she started to sing, and they didn't see her. Then she walked out, and she absolutely tore the place down that night. She's from Scotland, and for 10 years old, or any age, she has a remarkable singing voice. Her name is Lena Zavaroni, and this is her new album. She's recording already. She goes, Ma, he's making eyes at me, and she's going to open that with that. Would you welcome Lena Zavaroni?
performance from the 2013 Outstanding Ensemble, We're Muslim, Don't Panic, and with music by Brother Ali.
Minnesota, chip on his shoulder, six sleeping on a sofa, unwanted visitor in culture, missing home and can't go, they civil warring. Listen soldier, forget getting over, prison sit around the corner, homelessness even closer, kids with similar skin color still don't want you, spitting in soldier, cause they been here longer, you leave the crib, it's guaranteed the pigs approach you, where you going, where you from, any weapons on you, your family is stressed out, you're getting older, you don't live the way they did back in Somalia, it's extra difficult to be a daughter, trying to keep it modest, the sin is all around.